Hey, before you peel that potato, just wait. Put the peeler down for a second, because I'm about to tell you something that most of us have been getting completely wrong for years. And I mean years. Something our parents did, something we just copied, and something that, quietly every single day, is costing us a genuinely surprising amount of nutrition. I'm not here to be dramatic, but what ends up in your trash or your sink after peeling a potato? That's actually the part of the food worth keeping. Let's talk about it. What's actually in the skin? Okay, so here's where we start. A medium-sized potato, roughly 150 grams. Pretty ordinary, right? Something people eat all over the world. In Peru, in Korea, in Nigeria, in Germany, and India, the potato is genuinely one of the most universally consumed foods on the planet. The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations reported that global potato production hit over 370 million tons in recent years. It's not a trend food. It's a staple. But here's the thing. When researchers at the USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture, analyzed the nutritional breakdown of a potato with skin versus without, the difference was not minor. The skin of a medium potato contains roughly 50% of the potato's total dietary fiber, half of it, in just that thin outer layer. When you peel it off, you're literally throwing away half the fiber before you've even started cooking. And fiber matters. I know we talk about fiber like it's boring, like it's something your grandmother mentioned once. But if you're in your late 20s, your 30s, this is precisely when your gut health, your metabolic health, and your cardiovascular health are starting to set the trajectory for the next 40 years. A 2019 meta-analysis published in The Lancet, one of the most respected medical journals in the world, reviewed data from 185 prospective studies and found that people with higher dietary fiber intake had a 15 to 30% lower risk of cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, stroke, and colorectal cancer compared to people eating low-fiber diets. That's not a small number. That's not a niche finding. That's a major peer-reviewed conclusion. The potassium problem nobody talks about. Now let me bring up something that I genuinely think is under-discussed, especially for a global audience. Potassium deficiency. According to the World Health Organization, most adults worldwide consume less than the recommended 3,500 milligrams of potassium per day. Most, as in the majority of people watching this video right now, are probably not getting enough potassium. And that's a problem, because potassium is the mineral that helps your heart beat in rhythm, helps your muscles function properly, helps your kidneys balance fluids, and critically, helps manage blood pressure. A potato with the skin on contains somewhere between 900 and 1,000 milligrams of potassium. A skinless potato drops to around 600. You're losing close to 400 milligrams just by peeling it. And studies consistently show that adequate potassium intake is associated with a meaningful reduction in hypertension risk. A landmark study in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that increasing potassium intake was associated with a 24% lower risk of stroke. 24%! From a mineral, from food. And here's what makes this particularly relevant. For people in their late 20s to 40s, this is the decade when blood pressure issues often start silently. You don't feel high blood pressure. It has no dramatic symptoms. It just quietly builds. And what you eat in this window of your life has an enormous influence on where your cardiovascular health ends up at 50, 60, and beyond. Antioxidants and the skin's hidden arsenal. Let's go one level deeper. Because potassium and fiber aren't even the end of the story. Potato skins, particularly those of colored varieties like purple or red potatoes, but even standard russet and yellow varieties, are rich in phenolic compounds. These are plant-based antioxidants, chlorogenic acid, quercetin, catechins. These compounds have been studied for their ability to reduce oxidative stress in the body. And oxidative stress, if you're not familiar with the term, is essentially the wear and tear process at a cellular level that contributes to aging, inflammation, and the development of chronic diseases. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that higher quercetin intake, quercetin being one of the antioxidants found in potato skin, was associated with significantly lower inflammatory markers. And inflammation, as most of us now know, is linked to nearly every major chronic condition: heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, certain cancers. The skin also contains a meaningful amount of vitamin C, vitamin B6, iron, and magnesium, all of which drop substantially when the skin is removed. Vitamin B6 in particular plays a critical role in brain health, mood regulation, and immune function. According to data from the National Institutes of Health in the United States, B6 deficiency is associated with increased risk of depression, cognitive decline, and weakened immunity. Not something to dismiss lightly. By the way, if you're finding this useful, genuinely useful, not just interesting, but the kind of thing you might actually change about how you cook this week, hit that like button right now. It takes 1 second, and it actually means a lot. It helps this video reach more people who need to hear this. So thank you. Really. Now let's keep going. But wait, what about pesticides? I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, okay, but what about pesticides? What about the chemicals on the skin? That's why people peel, right? And it's a fair, legitimate concern. I'm not going to dismiss it. Here's what the evidence actually says. The Environmental Working Group, which publishes an annual analysis of pesticide residue on produce, has listed potatoes as one of the crops that does carry measurable pesticide residues on the skin. That's real. That's documented. But here's the nuance. Washing your potatoes thoroughly with water and a brush removes the overwhelming majority of surface pesticide residue. A 2017 study published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry compared washing methods and found that simply washing produce under running water significantly reduced surface pesticide levels, not to zero, but to levels that the FDA and WHO have assessed as posing negligible risk to human health within normal consumption. And if you want to take it further, buying organic or even buying locally grown potatoes, where you can ask about farming practices, that largely removes the concern. But peeling a conventionally grown potato as a pesticide strategy is, nutritionally speaking, a very costly trade. You're removing real measurable nutrition to eliminate a risk that proper washing already addresses. How to actually cook them. So how do you actually eat them? Because I think one reason people peel automatically is just habit. It's what they watched adults do as kids, and they never questioned it. The good news is, keeping the skin on doesn't complicate cooking at all. Roasted potatoes with the skin on are, by almost every measure, better. They hold their shape better. They get crispier on the outside, and they taste more complex. Mashed potatoes? Mash them skin on. It's a texture thing at first, sure, but it's genuinely good. In many Eastern European countries, skin-on mashed potatoes are traditional. In many parts of South Asia and West Africa, potatoes are often cooked whole or halved, skin intact. This isn't a new idea. It's actually the older idea. Boiled potatoes with the skin on retain significantly more nutrients than peeled boiled potatoes, because the skin acts as a barrier, slowing the leaching of water-soluble vitamins like B6 and vitamin C into the cooking water. A study in the journal Food Chemistry confirmed that skin-on boiling preserved up to 40% more vitamin C compared to peeled. That's substantial. Wash them well, scrub them properly, and cook them with the skin on. That's it. That's the whole change. Here's the bigger picture though, and I want to leave you with this. We're living in an era where people are spending real money on supplements, on protein powders, on health apps. And I get it, I really do. But some of the most powerful nutritional choices available to us are just already sitting in our kitchen. In humble, affordable, globally accessible food, the potato is one of the cheapest foods on earth. You can find it in almost every country, and the version of it that costs nothing extra, with the skin on, is meaningfully more nutritious than the version we've been defaulting to for decades out of habit. If you're in your late 20s or 30s, you're at a point where your habits genuinely compound. The choices you make about what you eat right now are building the health you'll be living with in 20 years. Not in a scary way, in an empowering way, because it means something as small as putting down the peeler is actually part of a longer, better story for your health. So next time you grab a potato, give it a good scrub and leave the skin where it belongs. On the potato, if this gave you something real to think about or something real to change, subscribe to this channel. We do this kind of thing all the time. No filler, no fluff, just the kind of food and health science that actually connects to your real life. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next one.